proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom Network. Yeah, you notice, look, the background's different. We're under construction. Yes, we are. We are officially under construction. Is my hair green again? For some reason, my hair seems to come out as green on television. And I thought it was maybe the screen behind us. So I said we're going to reconstruct it. I look green right now. Anyway, I'll be green. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Here we are on the Freedom Network. My name is Gary. We're very happy that you joined us. I've been on vacation. Yes, I was not here last week. I was up in the great state of Maine, up on Sebago Lake, having a wonderful time. A new friend of mine, I think might be out there. His name is Al. Al, I want to say hello to you. We had a wonderful time. Al was our neighbor. We met him, and now that's what it is. Now you have new friends. Lots of emails come in. Look, everybody wants to talk about Hillary and her selling of the meetings and her Clinton Foundation. I've just been inundated with them. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Phil says, let's see, Gary, great show. Go get him. Never fold like everyone else. I love that you are consistent. Consistency is rare. It is rare. I mean, I'm all over Facebook debating people, and it's just funny to watch them. From one post to the next post, you go through and you see that depending upon who they're talking, if they're a liberal and they're talking about a liberal, they get a pass. You know, if they're a conservative, they get a pass. But if it's the other side, then they don't. I just think it's absolutely hysterical. Thanks for the email, Phil. David, Gary, did you hear anything about automatic tolls in the state? Yes, David, unfortunately I did. I think it's awful. I think it's disgusting. It's Big Brother at its best. They're going to know where you are. They can tell you that they're not going to use it for that purpose. I say, you know what? And I say it loud and clear. I'm completely against this, David. 110% against this. I'm against the tolls in the first place. But if we have to pay them, I would rather not be tracked. And I also see that now there's things all over the place. There's cameras all over the place. Up on the highways. Look, government, don't track me. It's America. I can go where I want. I can do what I want. Now I know people say, well, the Amber Alert system, things of this nature. I get it. I get it. But I just don't like the Big Brother kind of stuff. So, David, I am dead against that. All right, Brooke emails in. Gary, don't you think Hillary would be better than Donald? No, Brooke, I don't. I mean, actually, but I do think that they both will be eventually a disaster, complete and utter disaster. Trump, I mean, I'm looking at stuff. I've got the web out here. I've got video, audio, all kinds of stuff. I did turn down the volume this time, folks. Don't worry about it. But you know, Trump, I do like more than I like Hillary. Okay, if you had to put a gun in my head and say, "What are you going to do?" Then that's what I would have to do. There's no way I could ever vote for Hillary. But you know, that's not saying much, Brooke. I mean, you know, Hillary is the bottom of the barrel. So being better than Hillary, I mean, you know, my fish is better than than Hillary. Okay, she'd be he I don't know would be a better. To me, it just makes absolutely positively no sense at all why people would vote for either of these people. I just don't understand it. I honestly and truly just don't understand it. So, in any event, a couple emails already in. Very nice, which is very good. We'll talk about that stuff, but I'm going to get to something first. I'm going to take a few minutes. We got to talk about something, folks. We got to talk about something serious. And we do have, politics is serious, but you know what? Family and life is even more serious than politics. So I have just put a few notes down on a piece of paper. I want to share some information with you, and I would really like some action from you folks out there. Okay, I don't call you to action much more than to go vote and vote your conscience and maybe send some emails out. But I need your action. I need it today. All right. Now, this is something that has affected our Freedom Network family, as many of you know. And like I said, I didn't want to stray. I don't want to stray because you all know I have a very easy way of straying. So I wrote it down here. In any event, as many of you, and we've talked about this before, folks, a Freedom Network family member's family has been affected by an awful, and I mean awful, disease that unfortunately primarily affects children. This is the Burgess family, and they're from Wisconsin, or living in Wisconsin, and they've been with us for some time here on the Freedom Network. Robert and I agree on some things, and we agree to disagree on other things, politically, of course. But over the past several months, we've come to enjoy the debating of the politics, as well as pointing out what we agree on, and maybe even pointing out what we don't agree on sometimes. That can happen. Fantastic conversations. I'm sure many of you have seen them online. So after getting to know Robert and some of his family members over Facebook and over some messages and things like that, I learned that the family had 3 children. They have Zachary, a boy. They have a daughter, Kennedy, and another daughter, Lauren. Kennedy and Lauren both have what is called mitochondrial disease. Unfortunately, this awful disease took the life of Kennedy not too long ago. Lauren is also battling this disease. Now, this family has been through and is going through so much that I decided personally that I wanted to do something to make them smile from the Freedom Network, because they're out there and they're active thinkers and they're open-minded and they're part of what we do here. All of you are. So after I learned that while they live in the middle of the country, they love lobsters. I learned that. So I decided I'm going to send them some. So last week I was in Maine, and I got some lobsters, sent them over, just a few lobsters to the family. And in no way could that remove the pain that this family has been dealing with. But I felt for even a few hours, if the Freedom Network, something that they've committed to and that Robert's involved with, if I could bring just some smiles, some happiness from the Freedom Network, from myself, and from my family to their family, it would be a great thing to do. Well, the lobsters were a big hit with the family. They were a big hit with the family. I think, do we have that video? Were we able to grab it? There's a quick video that I wanted to show you.
Uh-huh.
Come here, I'll rescue you.
Come here, Zach. Run!
I'll save you. Come on!
He's going over. He's vaginal.
It does. Sounds like a lot going on in there. Now, while making people happy and doing good deeds is a great thing, I'm going to tell you something, folks. We got to do more than lobsters. We need to fight this awful disease, and we need to help get it out of the shadows, get it into the spotlight of medical research, because it's very difficult to even find doctors that can treat this. And we have some other pictures. Of course, we can certainly send them out there and let you folks take a peek. Let me tell you about this awful disease, and then what you and me, what we can do to help people like Robert and his family and so many more that are out there. All right? It's called mitochondrial disease. It results from failures in the mitochondria. They are specialized compartments that are present in every cell in your body, with the exception of your red blood cells. Now, mitochondria are responsible for creating more than 90% of the energy needed by the body to sustain life and support growth. When they fail, less and less energy is generated within the cell. Cell injury and even cell death will follow. If this process is repeated throughout the body, whole systems will begin to fail, and the life of the person whom this is happening to is severely compromised. The disease primarily affects children, but adult onset is starting to become more common. Diseases of the mitochondria appear to cause the most damage to cells of the brain, heart, liver, skeletal muscles, kidneys, and the respiratory system. Now, depending on which cells are affected, symptoms may include loss of motor control, weakness, pain, gastrointestinal disorders, problems swallowing, growth issues, heart disease, liver disease, respiratory complications, so much more. It's really a general breakdown of the body. Now, umdf.org is a place where you can go and learn about this little-known disease that has affected really a lot of people, far more than you would think. I'm asking you today to do something. I want you to help out, folks. The Freedom Network is a family, all right? And part of our family is hurting, and I'm sure not just the only person in our family that may have had some exposure or a situation where they have seen something tragic like this happen. We have people like Robert and his family that are affected by this horrific disease, and we need to stand up and we need to do something for the children and for the families that are affected by it. So I'm asking you, go to umdf.org and learn about it. All right, learn about it. And if you have the ability to do so, donate something. All right, help these kids out. Whatever you can give would help, and take a minute to post a link on your Facebook page so that maybe others could do the same. It's umdf.org. There are others. On some things, folks, we agree, and on other things we may not on the Freedom Network. That's what this show is all about. It's about controversy. This issue is one thing I think we can all agree on. These people need help to fight this disease, folks, and they need money, and they also need people to realize that it exists and that it's killing children. So I want to thank you in advance for doing whatever you can to help out. Maybe a post, maybe a phone call, maybe a few bucks, maybe something, but there is something that you can do. Mackenzie, I'm sorry, Mackenzie. I did that this afternoon, Robert. You know, it's just so sad. Kennedy, we have a picture of Kennedy we can see? We have a picture of Kennedy, I believe. There's Kennedy. Unfortunately, is no longer with us. A beautiful, beautiful young child that just, that's that. And unfortunately, they have another child with the same disease, and it's something that I'm asking you to get involved with. So that's where I am with that. Did we have any other pictures maybe we can throw out there, get a little, at least a little happier tone? I think we had a couple. If we didn't, that's okay. There they are. There's the fam, as they say. Just scroll through a few that you got, Troy. And she really liked that lobster, I want you to all to know. She really did. I think they were surprised by it. What else you got? Anything else? There you go. Just some pictures. Look at the baby with the lobster. I mean, isn't that something? Look at the lobster. It's almost the size of the baby. All right, folks. We're going to take quick Freedom Network time out. We're going to come back, and we are going to talk some serious politics. We'll be right back.
Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years. But back in the 1960s, when I began, it seemed to me that we'd begun reversing the order of things, that through more and more rules and regulations and confiscatory taxes, the government was taking more of our money, more of our options, and more of our freedom. I went into politics in part to put up my hand and say, stop. I was a citizen politician, and it seemed the right thing for a citizen to do. I think we have stopped a lot of what needed stopping, and I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
Back to the Freedom Network. Gary right here. We are going to move on and talk about some politics. That's what we're going to do. That's what we specialize in. But please, folks, go. Do it. UMDF.org. Just go check out the website at least. Throw it in your bookmarks. Keep up with it. Maybe share it now and then. Anything that you can do to help, I think, would be fantastic. All right. I know everybody wants to talk about Hillary and the AP story, the Associated Press. This was quite a story. Look, they just keep coming out. All right, I'm going to tell you something. Hillary is she is so ethically challenged that I just question how anybody in their right mind can support her. I mean, if you're that full of hate for Donald Trump, right? We're going to talk about Trump too. Then so don't vote for Trump. But why do you have to run to Hillary? And don't give me, Robert, are you out there? Not my Robert from Wisconsin, but Robert from Stoughton. I think you still live in Stoughton. Are you out there? Call me and tell me, and not in the typed word. How do you support this person? I'm calling you out, Rob. Call me. You got the number right up there. Send me an email. Don't send me an email. We type to each other all the time. But folks, the reality is, all right, that this woman is a complete and utter monster. She is them. She is they. She is the absolute description of everything that is wrong with politics in America today. Why are we looking to give this person, instead of a trial, we're giving her a primary win and she's going to be the president? That's what's going to happen. Unless something can change here. Anyway, all right, so the AP, here we go. Here's the big story, all right? More than half the people outside the government who met with Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State gave money, either personally or through companies or groups, to the Clinton Foundation. It is an extraordinary proportion, indicating her possible ethics challenges if elected president. Now, folks, this was out in the news. I just want you to know. It just wasn't in the news that you probably watch, because CNN doesn't pick it up, and even Fox didn't really run with it. None of them do. These are all propaganda machines. Even the AP is, but they finally decided there's just no way that they can't. How can they not? How can't they run this story? 85 of 154 people from private interests who met or had phone conversations scheduled with Clinton while she led the State Department donated to her family charity or pledged commitments to its international programs, according to a review of State Department calendars released so far to the Associated Press. Now, folks, these 85 donors contributed as much as $156 million. At least 40 donated more than $100,000 each, and 20 gave over $1 million. I mean, folks, how is it? I've got my chair. I almost fell over backwards. How is it that you, if you're a Clinton supporter, can brush this type of stuff aside? How do you do it? Among those granted time with Clinton included internationally known economist who asked for her help as the Bangladesh government pressured him to resign from a nonprofit bank that he ran. Banking. Here we go. Here we go. Now you're going to start talking about some money, right? Money corrupts everything, doesn't it? Wall Street executives sought Clinton's help with a visa problem, and Estee Lauder executives who were listed as meeting with Clinton while her department worked with the firm's corporate charity to counter gender-based violence in South Africa. Now, the meetings between the Democratic presidential nominee, it says here in the article, and the foundation donors do not appear to violate legal agreements Clinton and former President Bill Clinton signed before she joined the State Department in 2009. But the frequency of the overlap shows the intermingling of access and donations, and fuels perceptions that the giving of to the foundation was a price of admission for FaceTime with Clinton. Her calendars and emails released as recently as this week describe scores of contacts she and her top aides had with foundation donors. Folks, it's Hillary. You can't charge her. You can't. I love when they say, well, if there's something there, then they could just charge her. No, there is something there with the emails. Maybe it didn't go in your brain because you're that brainwashed that it retards out the reality. But the reality is that you were told on TV by someone, just like I'm sitting in front of you, say that there was abilities and classified information that was on the server. She said that there wasn't. There was. Okay? It is illegal to do what she did. She will not be prosecuted for it, but you would be. And any State Department employee will be prosecuted for this. Now, folks, this was said time and time again, okay? On television, right to the American people. Why, in the name of anything that is right, don't you understand that this woman doesn't live inside the same laws you do? So when you say, well, charge her then, if there's something there, they would charge her. No, they wouldn't charge her. They told you that they wouldn't charge her. You just don't want to listen. That's all. That's it. AP's finding represent the first systemic effort to calculate the scope of the intersecting interests of Clinton Foundation donors and people who met personally with Clinton or spoke to her by phone about their needs. The 154 did not include U.S. federal employees or foreign government representatives. Clinton met with representatives of at least 16 foreign governments that donated as much as $170 million to the Clinton charity. Okay? That's aside from what we just were talking about. But they were not noted in the AP's calculations because such meetings would presumably have been part of her diplomatic duties. So it's worse, this is what they're saying. It's worse than we're telling you, but we just don't really know yet exactly and didn't want to include A, B, and C together. Yeah, they did. They just want to, probably wake up tomorrow morning. All right, Clinton's campaign said the AP analysis was flawed because it didn't include its calculations, meetings with foreign diplomats or U.S. officials. And the meeting AP examined covered only the first half of Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State. AP has sought for years a complete set of Clinton's detailed schedules over her time in office, which she could have voluntarily released but did not. Another pattern. The AP sued the State Department in federal court to obtain the schedules it has received so far. So it's suing in court and it's winning. All right. This is a quote. It's outrageous to misrepresent Secretary Clinton's basis for meeting with these individuals, spokesman Brian Fallon said. He called it a distorted portrayal of how often she has crossed paths with individuals connected to charitable donations to the Clinton Foundation. Well, let's face it. If people are paying and getting the FaceTime, are you telling me in all honesty that you truly believe that some of these lower level people she would have just met with them? No problem. She's just going to meet with them because she's so wonderful. Hillary's so great. She's the best thing in the world. Let's now bow down before our new czar, Miss Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton defended the foundation on Wednesday. Oh, there's a credible source. He's always honest. This is one of the more honest. We were fortunate to have him, I guess, right? She's just another lying, cheating SOB. That's all these Clintons are. That's all they are. Bill Clinton defended the foundation on Wednesday, telling reporters in Atlanta, if there's something wrong with creating jobs and saving lives, I don't know what it is. Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook also defended Hillary Clinton and questioned Republican presidential Donald Trump's own dealings. This is really funny. We need to look more closely at Donald Trump, he said on MSNBC's Morning Joe. Yeah, we do, right? We need to focus more on Donald Trump because if we don't, then we have to focus on Hillary. And if we focus on Hillary, holy crap, are we going to see a barrage of if we actually had a real news media. This candidate wouldn't even be a candidate, but we don't have a news media, folks. That doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Email coming in. Gary, thank goodness. That's all it says. Okay, well, I'm glad I could help you out. That one comes from Is it Johan? Is that how you'd say it? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. Trump fiercely criticized links between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department, saying his general election opponent had delivered lie after lie after lie. Well, that's true. But I'm going to talk a little bit about old Trump, too, because he's not the most honest guy in the world either. His nose keeps on growing out as well. All right? Okay. So Hillary Clinton is totally unfit to hold public office, Trump said at a rally Tuesday in Austin. It is impossible to figure out where the Clinton Foundation ends and State Department begins. It is now abundantly clear that the Clintons set up a business to profit from public office. I got to agree with them there. That's absolutely what it looks like to me. What rational human being? Let me ask you a question, Clinton, Hillary supporters out there. Let me ask you a question. If this was Trump, what would you think? Same scenario, okay? Same exact scenario. All right, let's say it was, forget Trump. Let's go after someone you really hate. You even hate more, George Bush Jr. All right, let's go after Bush Jr. All right, if he had done this, if you had noticed that he had, and they had a story out in the AP, and it said, gee, it's funny because he has a foundation, and in most cases, or many cases, we'll call it an alarming amount, as the AP did. What happens is when they donate to his foundation, they get a meeting. This would be on ABC, NBC, wall-to-wall coverage, CBS, all of them. CNN, MSNBC, NPR. Rachel Maddow would be having an absolute cow live on TV. Give me a break. Last week, the Clinton Foundation moved to head off ethics concerns about future donations by announcing changes planned if Clinton is elected. On Monday, Bill Clinton said in a statement that if his wife were to win, he would step down from the foundation board and stop all fundraising for it. The foundation would also accept donations only from U.S. citizens in what is described as an independent philanthropy, while no longer taking gifts from foreign companies and groups and corporate charity. This is such BS. Are you buying this? If you're sitting around and you're buying this, I want you to get up, go look in the mirror, look straight at yourself, and slap yourself right across the face. Because you got to wake up if you really believe that this person, Hillary Clinton, is anything but a slime bag, cheat, lying, cheat, unethical, throw the book at her. I would be happy if she just got out of public office, but folks, the reality is that she should probably be in jail. How do you like that? Huh? Just unbelievable. All right, so those plan changes would not affect more than 6,000 donors who've already provided the Clinton charity with more than $2 billion in funding since its creation in 2000. There's a lot of potential conflicts and potential problems, says Douglas Wife, an expert on nonprofits. He previously directed Columbia University's graduate fundraising management program. The point is, she can't just walk away from the 6,000 donors. Don't you see what's happened here, folks? The money has got so deep into politics. It's so in it. The only way to deal with this is strict term limits. I'm almost thinking that the president should probably have to come down to one term. One 4-year term, that's it. If Secretary Clinton puts the right people in, and she's tough about it and has the right procedures in place, and sends a message consistent with a strong commitment to ethics, it can be done, said, why is this all blurred out? I think, isn't that Eisen, I think his name is? He was Obama's ethics counsel and later worked for Clinton as the ambassador, I believe, because this is just, I love technology, but I think it could have been I remember reading through this article. I think it had said the Czech Republic. Now, Eisen was just. I want you to listen to something from me, folks. Just humor me for a minute. He was Barack Obama's top ethics advisor. Now, I'm sure all the presidents have ethics advisors. What the hell do you need an ethics advisor for? What is an ethics advisor? What is that? Is that someone to tell you what's ethical? Because you're not ethical? You need an ethics advisor? Do you not know what's ethical? Do you have a problem figuring out what's ethical? They're hiring ethics advisors in the United States government because they don't really know what this is just absolutely nuts. All right, he is now a governance studies fellow at the Brookings Institution. at the minimum, he says, Clinton should retain the Obama administration's current ethics commitments and oversight, which include lobbying restrictions and other rules. Richard Painter, a former ethics advisor to President George W. Bush, what is with the ethics advisors? What? This blew me away. When I got to this portion in this article from the Associated Press, I nearly lost my mind. I really did. I lost my mind. It's just unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. This guy's currently a University of Minnesota law school professor. How do they get these jobs? They make a big, big bucks, and then everyone complains and everybody's broke. The same people they can pay. You got Elizabeth Warren saying the college is too expensive. She makes what, $300,000-$400,000 to teach one class. Give me a break. Do you people buy this stuff? Who is it that buys into this stuff? What do you? What is it? How do you get that mushed inside of your brain? I don't get it. I don't get it. He said Bill Hillary and Chelsea Clinton should remove themselves completely from the foundation leadership roles, but added the potential conflicts would shadow any policy decision affecting past donors. Of course it will. You're talking about $2 billion worth of payback coming in. Fallon didn't respond to the AP's questions about Clinton transition plans regarding ethics, but said in a statement that the standard set by the Clinton Foundation ethics restrictions was unprecedented, even if it may never satisfy some critics. I know, there's just some people that we just hold Hillary to this crazy standard. We want her to follow the law. We don't want her to have private email servers. We don't want her to leak classified information or allow it to be leaked through her servers. We don't want her to abandon our troops in Benghazi. We don't want her to steal from the White House. We don't want her to sell meetings. We don't want her to do any of these things. We don't want her to fire people that have worked in the White House for years and years and years. We don't want her to profit off of bad bankings and savings and loan deals. We don't want her to go into business deals with people where you buy land for $5 and make all kinds of uber money after bankruptcy of poor citizens and profiting off of people in Whitewater and things of that nature. Folks, do you have any idea the person that what we're going to learn in real clear politics, I'm sorry, you're probably looking at a 4 to a 5 point lead over Donald Trump. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because the Trump man is, we're going to get to the Trump man, because if you think that I'm going to come out and support this guy, you're out of your flipping mind. All right? And I'm going to tell you, the real big reason is I don't like that he made fun of somebody with special needs. I don't like that. And he says, I stand by it because I didn't make fun of him. I was imitating him. You know what? You're an ass. That's what you are, okay? That's what Trump is. I don't like him. I do like some of his policies. Maybe I'm going to have time and I'm going to talk about him, but his policies move all over the place, folks. He's going to fold on guns. Don't forget, he already said that. He already indicated it in the primaries. He's going to do that. I have a list of things that he has gone from one to the other in not over 20 years. All right, folks, I'm going to tell you, we are in a perilous situation. We are in a terrible situation. We are not going to come out of this one, I don't think, okay. We're going to come out of this with more endless wars because they both support them. And this is what I mean when I say to people, they're the same coin, just two different sides, but the same coin. No wars are going to stop. All right, the troops aren't going to come home. We're not going to stop messing around with other countries. We're not going to stop giving aid to countries that subjugate women. Are you even in understanding of the people that this Clinton Foundation and that Hillary surrounds herself with from countries that have such poor treatment of women? She takes their money. Hillary is so bad on women, all right? She's so awful on the woman situation. I can't believe that women will vote for her. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Now, women in my life that are close to me, that I may know, I respect a lot of the way that they think. And there's a lot of women out there that think, why would I support her? Not about her husband and cheating, because you know what? That's personal, all right? That's up to them. If they want to get past that, that's up to them. They can get past that. But what absolutely blows me away is that women support Hillary Clinton after the character assassinations that she took part in and led against women that, in fact, let's face it, okay? Were they all? I don't know. But what do you think about Bill Cosby? All right, so he's guilty, he's a jerk, he's this, he's a terrible person. Throw the book at him. But Bill Clinton's got a laundry list as long as his. And it's okay. because he's Bill Clinton and he has a D next to his name. So that's okay. That's okay. That's what you guys sound like when you talk in my mind, right? That's how I hear it when I read it on Facebook. I hear it like just this most simple mind that you could imagine is speaking, because there's no objectivity, there's no standing up, and it's no character. I said to somebody today, I said, how is it your character that agrees with her, or is it hate? What is it that makes you decide that you want to go for a total zero like Hillary Clinton? And I could say the same thing about Trump, folks. I absolutely could, but we're going to get to that later. I'm talking about Hillary right now. What is it that makes people say, oh, I gotta go, I'm going to go vote for Hillary? What is it? Well, the experience. Experience in what? What is the experience? What has she done as Secretary of State that would make you think, it's kind of like, I go get a job as a mechanic. I'm not going to be a good mechanic. But if I go to get another job as a mechanic, should I say, well, I've got experience, so I should just get the job? No, she was a terrible Secretary of State, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because throughout Barack Obama's presidency, she has supported all of his insane global ideas. And as Secretary of State, she allowed awful things to happen. The world is in terrible shape, all right? Now, I'm no fan of John Kerry, but what do you want the guy to do? All right, they blew up the whole Middle East, man. We were in 2 countries in a very controlled area, and now we're in all different places with less troops, but there's not really less troops. We're doing surgical things, and we're blowing people up, and we're creating more hostility. We're destabilizing governments. We're losing weapons. We're losing money. We're trading money. We're trading for the whole national scene in the United States of America. We have lost control 110 million%. We have lost control under Democrats. And it's not Democrats. I'm going to correct myself. Under left-wing, liberal, insane people. That's who is running the country, okay? That's who is in the White House, and that's who you're about to put back in the White House once again. Some of Clinton's most influential visitors donated millions to the Clinton Foundation and to her and her husband's political coffers. They're among scores of Clinton visitors and phone calls and contacts in her official calendar, turned over by State Department to AP last year in a more detailed planning schedule. This just goes on and on and on. Now, Daniel Abram, whose name was also included in the emails released by the State Department as part of another lawsuit, is a Clinton fundraising bundler who is listed in Clinton's planners for 8 meetings with her at various times. A billionaire behind the Slim Fast diet and founder of the Center for Middle East Peace, Abram told the AP last year his talks with Clinton concerned Mideast issues. I'm sure they did. And where do you deposit the check? Big Clinton Foundation donors with no history of potential giving to the Clintons also met or talked by phone with Hillary and top aides, AP review showed. It's a very balanced report here. They just seem to be just throwing it out there. Muhammad Yunus, I believe is his name, a Bangladeshi economist who ran for and won. He didn't run for, what am I? Oh, man, that's funny. Now, that's one we should save. Who won the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize for pioneering low-interest microcredit for poor business owners, met with Clinton 3 times and talked with her by phone during a period when Bangladeshi government authorities investigating his oversight of a nonprofit bank and ultimately pressured him to resign from the bank's board. Through the process, he pleaded for help in a message routed to Clinton, and she ordered aides to find ways to assist him. American affiliates of his nonprofit Grameen Bank had been working with the Clinton Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative programs as early as 2005. They're pledging millions of dollars in microloans for the poor. Grameen America, the bank's nonprofit U.S. flagship, which he chairs, has given between $100,000 and $250,000 to the foundation, a figure that the bank spokeswoman, who is, I think, Becky Ash, said reflects the institution's annual fees to attend CGI meetings. Another arm chaired by Eunice they have a research, I think. I don't want to read this whole thing to you. It'll get too boring. Has donated between $25,000 and $50,000. All right. A U.S. Senator from New York, okay, that would be, this is good. I like how they put this. As a U.S. Senator from New York, Clinton, as well as then Massachusetts Senator John Kerry, and two other senators in 2007 sponsored a bill to award Congressional Gold Medal to Eunice. He got one, but not until 2010, a year after Obama awarded him a Presidential Medal of Freedom. He first met with Hillary Clinton in Washington in 2009. That was followed 6 months later by an announcement, the State Department's Forward Aid arm, that it was partnering with his foundation, which is a nonprofit charity, in a $162 million commitment to extend its microfinance concept, abroad. This is totaling $2.2 million over Clinton's tenure. This is just unbelievable. This is unbelievable stuff. And you know, I'll tell you, this goes on and on. The AP really gets into this whole thing. Clinton also met in 2011 with Nancy. This is it just goes on. It just keeps on going on. Estee Lauder executives met with Clinton at the same Wall Street event attended by Schwartzman later that month. On a list of attendees at a meeting between Clinton and U.S.-China Trade Group, Estee Lauder has given between $100,000 and $250,000 to the Clinton Foundation. The company made a commitment to CGI in 2013. You know, this is what happens when you allow scum into your government, people. When you allow scum in the government, this is what you get. This is what you get. So let's look at it, all right? How about this? You ready for this? This is coming out of Dinesh D'Souza's new book, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. And it's actually the Democrat Party. They have no oversight on things being democratic, because they have none of it within their party. Just look at what happened in the primaries here. All right, this is quite an article, all right? In January 2015, a group of Haitians surrounded the New York offices of the Clinton Foundation. They chanted slogans. They accused Bill and Hillary Clinton of having robbed them of billions of dollars. 2 months later, the Haitians were at it again, accusing the Clintons of duplicity, theft. In 2015, they were back, this time outside Bill Clinton was receiving an award and collected a $500,000 check for his foundation. Clinton, where's the money? The Haitian signs reads, "Who's in my pocket?" We are telling the world the crimes that Bill and Hillary Clinton are responsible for in Haiti. Haitians, let me get to the meat of this for you. The devastating effect of the earthquake on a very poor nation provoked worldwide concern. And you remember this, and inspired an outpouring of aid to rebuild Haiti. Countries around the world, as well as private and philanthropic groups such as the Red Cross and Salvation Army, provided some $10.5 billion worth of aid, with $3.9 billion of it coming from the United States. It's amazing how, America's awful. This is a terrible country. It's terrible, this and that, but yet, boy, we just give everybody all kinds of money, don't we? We take care of them. And, then they don't like us. I don't get it. Haitians noticed that very little of this aid money was actually going to the poor people in Haiti. Some projects championed by the Clintons, such as the building of industrial parks and hotels, cost a great deal of money and offered scarce benefits to the truly needy. Port-au-Prince was supposed to be rebuilt. It was never rebuilt. Projects aimed at creating jobs proved to be bitter disappointments. Haitian unemployment remained high, largely undented by the funds that were supposed to pour into the country. Famine and illness continued to devastate the island nation. Haitians were initially sympathetic to the Clintons. One may say they believed in the message of hope and change. With this customary overstatement, Bill told the media, "Wouldn't it be great if they became the first wireless nation in the world?" They could. I'm telling you, they really could. It's absolutely, positively terrible. Where did the money go? It didn't escape, on its own. Where did it go? Where did it go? It didn't. It says here in this article, National Review, it did not escape the attention of the Haitians that Bill Clinton was the designated UN representative for aid to Haiti. Following the earthquake, Bill Clinton had, with media fanfare, established a Haiti Reconstruction Fund. His wife Hillary was the United States Secretary of State. She was in charge of U.S. aid allocated to Haiti. Together, the Clintons were the two most powerful people who controlled the flow of funds to Haiti from around the world. Haitian protesters noted an interesting pattern involving the Clintons and how the funds were used. They observe a number of companies that received contracts in Haiti happen to be entities that made large donations to the Clinton Foundation. The Haitian contracts appeared less tailored to the needs of Haiti than to the needs of the companies that were performing these services. In some, the Haitian deals appeared to be a quid pro quo for filling the coffers of the Clintons. For example, they list right out examples. The Clinton Foundation selected Clayton Homes, a construction company owned by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, to build temporary shelters in Haiti. Buffett is an active member of the Clinton Global Initiative, who has donated generously to the Clintons as well as the Clinton Foundation. The contract was supposed to be given through the normal United Nations bidding process, with the deal going to the lowest bidder who met the project standards. UN officials said, however, that the contracts were never completely competitively bid for. So Clayton offered to build hurricane-proof trailers, but what they actually delivered turned out to be a disaster. The trailers were structurally unsafe, with high levels of formaldehyde and insulation coming out of the walls. There were problems with mold and fumes. You remember this. Do you not remember? How do people not remember this stuff? The Clintons also funneled $10 million in federal loans to a firm called Innovidia, headed by Clinton donor, I'm not even going to kill your name, Claudio is his name, Osorio, had loaded its board with Clinton cronies, including longtime ally General Wesley Clark, Hillary's 28 finance director Jonathan Mance, and Democratic fundraiser. This is just unbelievable, raising millions for the Clintons. Normally, loan approval process takes months or even years, but in this case, a government official wrote, former President Bill Clinton is personally in contact with the company to organize its logistical and support needs. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton has made available State Department resources to assist with logistical arrangements. I'm speechless to anybody that's going to go vote for her. I'm speechless. I'm just absolutely speechless. I can't even, this goes on and on and on. What they did to Haiti. Awful. Awful what they did to those people. And why did they do it? When did they do it? What did they do? They did it so that it just like the AP report says. All right? This is payback for donating to the Clintons. You donate to the Clintons, you get to play the game. You get to be in a new class of people. And if you're Hillary, you can be at the top and you can't get charged for anything. Even when they say, when the U.S. government comes out and says what she did was wrong. She did it all wrong. Terrible thing. And if you do it, you're going to jail. But Hillary, we're not going to press charges. And ready now? Here's the real clear. Which one is this? Yeah, Real Clear. I like to go to Real Clear because I can look at all the polls at one time. General election, Trump versus Clinton. August 24th, Wednesday. Clinton, 47. Trump, 44. That's probably right within the margin. General election, if you throw Johnson in, Clinton goes to 42. Trump goes to 38. Johnson goes to 6. And we can put Stein in there, goes to 4. Either way, Clinton's winning. Who are these people? I want to talk to these people. I want to get them in a room, and I just want to talk to them. And I think that we should bring in psychologists. I think we should bring in the brains that know the brain. And I think that we should try to tap in to the, if we could just brainwash our enemies the way that the media has brainwashed so many people, some watching now. This is unbelievable. Let's see. I got one coming. Whoops. Hang on. This one comes from Tom. Democratic Party changed when LBJ became president. We became a welfare state. Carter, Clinton, and Obama continued it. We have forgotten what it is to be an American. You're darn right. You know something, Tom? You are darn right that we have forgotten what it means to be an American. It means that you work hard. It means that you don't get stuff just given to you. It means that you have a government that you hold accountable under the penalty of removing it because it's your government. You have a constitution that guarantees you certain rights that you give away like nothing. Tom, you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. All right? You really just hit it right on the head. I mean, the fact of the matter is, folks, is that in America today, we don't have America. We have a bastardized version of what our government has made America into. And you allowed it. And people voting for Clinton, and quite honestly for Trump, are continuing to allow this craziness. You are doing it. Donald Trump, build a wall, deport all undocumented immigrants. I mean, the wall, I don't think you need the wall. Why don't we end the, let's end the wars, Donald. He's not going to do it, folks. Don't you think? Don't fall for his crap, because that's what it is. These are wars for profit. And until you get somebody in there that's going to just stop this, they're going to continue, and neither one of these is going to stop it. But I do agree that undocumented immigrants, and see, I'm reading it here. This is from NBC News. They won't say illegal aliens. They're not allowed to use the phrase illegal aliens at NBC. NBC is a propaganda machine that Goebbels would have been proud of, okay? Proud of. He would have been in awe of NBC and how they control people. I can't stand NBC. As a matter of fact, I think they're borderline enemy of the state. Yes, I do. You know why? Because they lie to you and brainwash you. Now, so does CBS, so does ABC. They all do it, and CNN does it. But NBC is the worst of the worst. I mean, these are the ones that really are in it to win it with propaganda and admit it. They admit it. Do what you will with it. But he then says, deport all undocumented immigrants, but bring the good ones back legally. Dreamers maybe can stay. All right? So that he said in a CNN interview in July. I want to move them out, and we're going to move them back in and let them be legal. But they have to be in here legally. So he's gone from get rid of them to move them out to bring them back. He wavered on what to do with dreamers, young undocumented immigrants. You know what, NBC, screw you. They're young illegal aliens. That's what they are. They're lawbreakers. That's what they are. That's what they are. They were brought to this country by their parents as children and are now afforded limited protection from deportation, but no path to citizenship. When asked if dreamers would have to go back, he said it depends. On what, Donald? Then he says dreamers cannot stay. They have to go. That was on Meet the Press in August. I mean, he might actually be flexible on deporting all 11 million undocumented immigrants. And I love this. This is what I love when they say, well, how are you going to do it? How are you going to pay for that? I love it when a liberal gets concerned about money, because you know they're so full of you know what that it's because they don't care about money for anything. Money doesn't matter to liberals. They don't give a crap. All right, folks. With their, what, 19 trillion or 10 trillion or what? I'm losing control of where the debt's going. All right. Do you think they care about money? They don't care about money. They want the illegals to stay because they want the votes and they want to feel good. Liberals love to feel good about themselves. They really truly believe that if they, take Syrian refugees, you bring them in. Let's bring in a few 100,000. Okay, everyone that thinks they should, I want them to stay with you, and I want them to go to school with your kids, because what's going to happen if you let them in, and 99% of them are going to be fine, folks, they're good people, okay? But the problem is that 1% of them is going to want to kill someone. And you know what? Let me just put this out there. If you support it, I'd rather them kill you or your kids than me and my kids, because you want to feel good about yourself. Put your money where your mouth is, people. I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm going to live my ivory tower. And they wanted the wind farms. The liberals love them, but don't put them in Cape Cod area. No, you can't do that. The liberals live there. You got to put it somewhere else. Liberals are the most crazy people I've ever met in my entire life. So now Trump says, BuzzFeed was reporting that in off-the-record talks with the New York Times, he admitted that this was just bluster, and he was, starting a point for negotiations, saying they might not deport the undocumented immigrants as he's promised, but Trump has refused to. If you want to get rid of them, this is what you do. When you catch them, you move them out. All right? You don't have to spend $8 trillion or $2 trillion or $1 trillion or you just, the people we already pay, okay? What's happening is you get a guy like Obama's uncle. He's a perfect example. Illegal alien, was here, caught drunk driving, and sent home. Not home to where he came from, but home to where he lived in the United States of America, right here in good old Mass, right? So that's what happened. All right? And this happens all the time, day in and day out, day in and day out. A police officer picks somebody up, okay? They have no license, okay? They have a passport. Well, they're driving illegally. So they're driving illegally. Okay, so what do we do about that? Well, we got to do something about that, so we're going to give them that touch, okay? And we're going to say you can't drive illegally. So what would happen to me if I didn't have a license? That's what should happen to them. So if that provokes a court date, a ticket, whatever it may be, but you need that person's identification. And when they only can give you a passport, well, how long you been here? That's a valid question. This is what we need to start to do. We need to start. I'm not saying that you're going to go out and deport 11 million people tomorrow. But as we touch this issue, as we get in contact with illegal immigrants, we need to move them out. That's it. They're illegal. They should not be here. It doesn't matter. Okay? If you support illegal immigration, in my opinion, all right, you support all of the negative as well as the good. And I'm sure there is plenty of good. But you're also supporting the negative. All right? And you're bringing in people that are in gangs. You're bringing in a huge prison population. Why are they even in prison? Get them the hell out. Get me crazy. He's like crazy. Trump's all over this. He's all over it. I propose he's going to ban Muslims. How do you ban Muslims? I understand it was done in the past, but do you think that worked? Do you think for a second that you can just ban Muslims? And do you think for a second that all Muslims are bad? Do you really believe that? I mean, Trump's out of his mind. All right? All Muslim people are not bad people. All right? When it comes to taking chances, I ain't taking one chance with my son's life. Not one. You take it with yours. I'm not taking it with mine. Okay? You want refugees and open borders and all this stuff. You take all of that. Boom. Take Trump's idea. We'll wall you off. You can live with them and help them and give them your money and your food and take it from your kid's mouth, not mine. Yeah, I get fired up about this. And the reason I get fired up about this kind of stuff is because you get a guy out here that everybody's saying is going to make America great again. He doesn't even have one consistent issue. Well, because we're Republicans, we got to run out there and we got to go support Donald Trump because we got to run out and support Donald Trump. Because that's what we have to do, because he's got an R next to his name. You know what I say to that? If I could swear right now, that's what I tell you. Absolutely, positively not. I'm going to tell you something right now. There is no way. My opinion is not for sale, okay? I have had several emails. As a matter of fact, I'll read you one. Here we go. All right, this one comes from Tim. Not Tim from Tim or Gary. I think he's all in with Trump. But Tim says, let me just pull it up. Gary, what are you doing? You're talking about Trump a few weeks ago. This was from about 2 weeks ago as well. You're talking about Trump a week ago or two, and it seems to me that you don't like him or his politics, but he is the Republican nominee. We should support him. Further, if you don't support him, you're going to wind up with Hillary. What do you think? Well, I think you're going to wind up with Hillary anyway. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Hillary will be the president. I don't think Trump wins. If Trump wins, Trump wins. But I don't sell my political soul, man. I don't do that, all right? I just don't do it. And I refuse to do it. And Trump is a jerk. He's an ass. He's arrogant. He is absolutely, positively not anyone I want representing my country. I just don't want him to do that in that role. I just don't. If I have to pick between Hillary or Trump, I'm going to pick Trump. But like I said, get Johnson on the stage. I don't like him much either. I don't like any of these people. But at least Johnson, I could respect that he has his own convictions. I'm so late. I'm late. I got to go. Folks, this is the Freedom Network. We'll yell and scream about this stuff next week, right here, 7 o'clock when we come back.